So, hello, I am here today with the lovely Susie Garden, one of my former Mastermind clients. Susie is a naturopath nutritionist, metabolic balance practitioner, yoga teacher, and former registered nurse. So, she knows a lot of stuff about health. And today, Susie and I thought we'd get together and just have a bit of a chat about her journey from before, what her business was like before joining Package and Prosper, why she wanted to join, and now the transformation she's had and what it looks like today. Susie, would you like to introduce you? Well, I mean, I've just introduced
Yes.
you. You're going to add and let everyone know, what practice was looking like before you joined the program and what it was that you wanted to create for your business.
Yeah, absolutely, Hayley. Yeah, like I was in a sole practitioner practice, obviously pivoted online because of COVID and because I relocated. And I was seeing all of my clients one-to-one. And I had a particularly busy quarter at the end of last year. So it's the end of 2020. And I realized with the growth that I was seeing that like I was just being run ragged. And a lot of the things particularly with metabolic balance, which is what I was doing primarily and what I love to do, a lot of the stuff is quite repetitive because as people go through each week of their program, there's a lot of the same conversations I was having with people. And I just thought, gosh, if I get busier than this, I'm going to get really burnt out. And I just thought, well, how can I manage this? Because it's obviously a great opportunity when you're seeing lots of clients to make a good income, but I didn't want to be burnt out because I have been burnt out in the past and I really didn't want to go there again. So I had heard about some of your work, Hayley. I knew just from being in the metabolic balance group that you were running your MB as a group program or had been. And I thought, gosh, that just sounds so good, but I couldn't work out in my own mind how that would look for me. And the other thing with metabolic balance is that there are quite a number of us practitioners doing it now. And I wanted a way to kind of differentiate myself. And I felt with my skill set being a nutritionist and naturopath, but also being a yoga and meditation teacher. And I bring a lot of that into what I'm doing with my clients. But well, how can I put all this together to differentiate myself as a practitioner, but also to get more, I guess, time efficiency so that I wasn't just run ragged all of the time, but also continue to get really great outcomes for my clients. So when I saw your mastermind and saw the results that some of your people were getting in the mastermind, I thought, well, yeah, I've got to do this. And I'm so glad that I did.
I love it. I'm glad you did too. And I love that. I think maybe one point you missed there was creating a program that you love delivering.
Oh, yes, I do.
Love teaching meditation and yoga and all of those other skills and passions that you have. We're allowed to package that up into something that we're really proud of and we love to deliver. And I think that helps burnout a lot too. I think
it does.
Sometimes that I know for myself, and I've heard from many other practitioners like yourself, that repetition and burnout and almost getting a little bit bored. We need to be passionate and excited to go to work every day and show up for our clients. So having a program it's all of your parts together, I think.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And that's what I really like about it is that when people come into the program, they know that it's a holistic approach. They're not just coming in for weight loss anymore. Whereas before I used to really market it as a weight loss program. And now I market it completely differently. I'm getting a different type of client because they're seeing what I'm offering differently. They're not just seeing it as weight loss. They know that weight loss is a part of it, but they're seeing there's so many other elements to this. And in terms of an outcome that they're wanting, I think because of the way that you structure your course, it gives the people that go through your program the similar sort of structure where we can see, there's this whole other thing as well as this weight loss, but I'm getting all of these other elements in this program. Even though it's metabolic balance primarily, there's just so much more to it in the programs that you encourage us as practitioners to put together, and the structure that's in the mastermind just makes it so easy. You know, when I go in, I was like, how am I going to put all this together? And because you've got not only the coaching, you've got the modules. So there's just such this clear structure. I knew exactly what to do and put each piece together one bit at a time, so it wasn't overwhelming. And then when it came to, for example, I remember specifically having to write my key selling messages, and I was like, oh man, I can spend a whole day doing this. And I actually really wanted to go to a Pilates class, and I had 45 minutes, and I'm like, right, I really want to go to this class. I'm going to make myself do this in 45 minutes. And I just went back through the material that, because we'd already done through your modules, all of the thought had already been put into it. And all I needed to do was pull out all these words that I'd already written and thought about into these key selling messages, and they just fell out of me, and it was awesome. And I did it. And I remember putting it in the Facebook group going, oh, these are probably not so great. I'll just see. I thought they were okay. And then the feedback I got from the other pracs in the group was just great. I was like, oh my God, it was just so easy. And that's what I really found with the program, with working with you, is that just things, because it's so logical, you're kind of doing all the groundwork and the foundational stuff. So when you're having to get into some of the more challenging stuff, it's all done.
The work's
there.
done. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's designed like that. It's designed to be layer upon layer, so that, it's not just, hey, day one, write your key messages and create a webinar. And you'd be like, well, I don't even know. It's like, no. And I think that's the thing, isn't it? So many practitioners, before they come into a program like mine, they just want to go and do the marketing. They just want to, they're like,
exactly.
meet clients, that's the problem I have in my business. Let's just, tell me how to do that. And it's like, you know what? We're going to go back a few steps, lay down that foundational groundwork, starting with ideal client, niche, what's the problem that you solve? And then step by step, flesh it all out. Know what your offer is too. Like, what is it that you're going to be going out into the market selling? And then
I didn't even know. So
Oh, cool. So
tell us
about the finished product, or the first version, because I guess we're never finished up, we're always improving.
Well, no.
What does your program
exactly
now?
Well, okay, so now my program, rather than calling it metabolic balance, weight loss, my program is now called the Glow Protocol. The tagline is anti-aging is an inside job. And my whole program now, I know, I think you came up with it.
We all did together, I'm sure. I just love it.
We all did together, And it's now a program that is all about anti-aging in a way that it's about fixing up the inside, which is what metabolic balance does. It lowers inflammation in the body, which lowers inflammaging, which is a whole area that I learned about through the process of doing your program, because it's something that really kind of interested me. And I, from that, have put together a program which is based on 6 pillars. And I've brought in my yoga, my meditation, my mindfulness. I've brought in stress management, sleep management, self-care. I've brought in building an anti-aging mindset. I didn't even know there was such a thing, but there's all this research on that old saying, you're as old as you feel. Well, in fact, you're as old as you think. And there's a whole bunch of research around this. So it's fascinating. So it's really opened up a new area of interest for me as a practitioner, which has been really fun. And it's allowed me, I guess, to put together the program I always wanted to put together, but I just didn't know what it was, if that even makes sense. I knew I loved working in weight loss, but I wanted it to be more than that. I wanted it to be more around health. And by marketing it now as the Glow Protocol, I mean, the name itself it just sounds beautiful. And it helps women to understand when they're looking at it, this is actually more than just weight loss. This is actually going to help me live longer, live more healthily, reduce symptoms. Like, I did some market research in my email list as per your instructions, and found out that, people were having issues with body pain, with insomnia, with night sweats, with fatigue, particularly, a lot more than I realized. And weight loss was also in there, but there were all these other things that I knew metabolic balance could address, but I wasn't marketing it like that because I didn't think that's what people's problems were. So I guess from the groundwork, doing that groundwork, I was able to develop this program that I'm not only in love with, but it's attracting more people and more the people that I want to work with as well, which is really great.
Yeah. And that makes all the difference to every aspect of your business, doesn't it? If you love the people that you're serving and I think too, like what you just explained, that's what happens when you have a really clear niche. Suddenly the world opens up. Suddenly there's so many exciting avenues to go deeper into what your clients need and research and really becoming that expert in that space, which gets rid of imposter syndrome, which gets rid of all of that sort of mindset stuff that so often practitioners can feel when they're not really clear on what their purpose is. Yeah.
Totally. And that comparisonitis as well, because there's only probably one other person that I'm aware of in Australia that's really focusing on anti-aging, and they're not a metabolic balance practitioner. So I really feel like, and I've actually had clients that have come into my program say to me, I really loved what you were offering. I was looking specifically for metabolic balance, but when I saw what you were offering, that was much more appealing.
Yes.
And I think too, they can see the value, because I had one lady that actually I did a discovery call with, and she said openly, I'm price comparing. I've already had a conversation with this practitioner, and I wanted to have a chat to you as well. And as I was talking to her, I was very sneakily sort of looking up this other practitioner and seeing their price, and their price was well under mine. And I was like, oh man, that really made me go, oh, I'm not going to get this client anyway. Because I thought if she's really going for price, she's not going to go for what I'm offering. And I ended up, she signed up not for my 12-week course, for my 6-month course, which was almost 3 times the price of the practitioner she was comparing me with, because she could see the whole program. It wasn't just this is metabolic balance. It was this holistic approach to the problems that she was having. And it just really opened my eyes that it's all about the problem that you solve. And if you can solve that problem for that individual, then they will pay. They will do the work. And it's just so satisfying for me to be able to provide that kind of quality of program at that level for these people that really need it.
100%. Like it's true transformation that you're offering and you're communicating. And I remember you telling me about that client, and you still went through the discovery call process. You still went through questionings, you dug deep. You weren't just like, oh, well, here's the price. You're like, well, actually, sometimes people say that. Sometimes it's like when you go to look for anything, often you start with price. Like if you need a new car, well, let's price all the options. But often we don't necessarily go for the cheapest. We then get to know the car a little bit better. What other features and benefits does it have?
Exactly.
And so sometimes if we just go, oh, they just want to know the price. No, they don't. They're starting to shop. Let's still give them the full understanding of the value, and then they can decide.
Exactly. And it's really funny because I've said to you before, I hate discovery calls, but now that I have the structure that you've given,
do you love them
the
now?
structure that you've given us, I actually do. I actually really enjoy the conversation with the person and understanding their needs. And even, like, I'm just trying to think of there's probably only been 1 or 2 people that haven't, and to be honest, I haven't been the right person because I haven't been ready yet to make the changes. But it's been really fascinating for me to understand their problems and to think about, well, how can I solve them maybe in the future with the programs that I put together in the future? Because that's the other beautiful thing with the modules that you've got, is I can then use that again to create something else down the track if I want to. So it's just so valuable what you've put together, which has been really, so even after finishing the mastermind, I've still got lots and lots of material to go back again and set it all up again, because I know now that this is the process and this works.
Yeah. Well, you have your signature system, your method, and you can do spin-off versions of how you deliver that in different ways. I reckon there's a book in you, Susie, where you're talking about your Glow Protocol, the book, 100%.
The book.
Recipes, all the research on anti-aging, why women should care. So exciting.
Yeah, well, it is interesting. And like there's so much we don't know that we're not told.
Yeah.
And the more I look into it and read the research papers and look at, just because it's really only fairly recent research as well. So, and I think because our population is sort of aging, so there's now more research going into that, particularly in countries like, South Korea. They've got a very similar population to us. There's a lot of research coming out of there. And it's really quite fascinating. And what we do, literally, it's all the stuff as naturopaths and nutritionists that we do. It's food, it's mindfulness, it's stress management. It's nothing, high tech, really. It's basics, getting them right and doing them consistently, that really make a difference in how you look, how you feel, your risk of developing chronic disease in the future. It's really interesting.
Amazing. So good. Well, I could talk to you all day. I would love to. We probably should end it here, but thank you so much, Susie. Yeah. It has been so lovely catching up with you, and we might do this again.
My pleasure.
I want to hear about all the success you've had.
I'd love to.
Very, very exciting. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Hayley. It's been great talking to you.